The air is heavy, not just with the smell of food stalls and damp cobblestones, but with the tension that pulls everyone's eyes to the wooden platform rising above the crowd. The gallows. At its center, a man with bound hands and a pale face waits for the rope. For a brief moment, silence covers the square. Then the trapdoor falls, and what follows is so haunting it became known across Europe as the scaffold dance. This phrase may sound poetic, but it described something brutal. When a prisoner was hanged, especially with a poorly measured rope, death was not quick. Instead of a swift, neck-breaking drop, the condemned often swung and kicked, their body twisting violently as they struggled for air. Their legs flailed, their chest heaved, and their eyes bulged, while the crowd below watched every agonizing second. For ordinary people of the Renaissance, this spectacle was more than punishment. It was theater, a performance where death itself was the drama. But why did so many come to watch? In Renaissance Europe, executions were carefully staged public events. Authorities knew that punishment had to be seen to be believed. A hanging was not only about ending a life, but about sending a message. It warned criminals, reinforced the power of rulers, and reminded everyone of the moral order that society claimed to uphold. And so, the gallows was often placed in the most visible spot in town, right in the marketplace, or outside the city gates. The condemned didn't just die, they performed their final role before an audience of hundreds, sometimes thousands. The scaffold dance became infamous because it embodied everything that could go wrong during this final act. When the rope was too short, the condemned writhed for minutes in a grotesque struggle. Sometimes the knot slipped to the wrong side, stretching out the agony. In other cases, the rope snapped, and the execution had to be repeated, each failure only increasing the spectacle for the crowd. Writers of the time described these scenes with a mix of fascination and horror. In England, the phrase, "to dance the Tyburn jig," became common slang, referring to London's infamous gallows at Tyburn, where criminals twisted and convulsed in the noose. Across the Channel, French accounts spoke of the danse de Saint-Guy, echoing the same disturbing imagery. Crowds responded with a strange blend of reactions. Some laughed nervously at the jerking movements. Others crossed themselves in fear, believing they were witnessing divine judgment. Children sometimes sang mocking rhymes, while vendors took the chance to sell food and drink, turning death into a day's entertainment. For the authorities, this was the paradox. They wanted fear, but the public often treated it as a carnival. Yet not everyone saw it as entertainment. Religious reformers, particularly during the Reformation, criticized the scaffold dance as degrading to both the condemned and the community. They argued that executions should be solemn, not turned into grotesque theater. But despite the criticism, the crowds kept coming. Death drew spectators like nothing else. One reason the scaffold dance lingered in memory was its unpredictability. Unlike a beheading with a sharp axe or sword, which could be over in seconds, hanging carried no guarantees. A skillful executioner could measure the rope just right to cause a quick break. But in many towns, hangmen were undertrained or careless, leading to scenes that haunted witnesses for years. Some condemned prisoners even embraced the spectacle. A defiant criminal might shout to the crowd, sing a hymn, or curse his judges, using his final minutes as a stage. If his body danced in the rope, it became a final performance of resistance, turning punishment into a strange form of martyrdom. Think about that for a moment. A method designed to terrify could, in some cases, give the condemned the last word. That's part of what makes the scaffold dance such a powerful symbol. It wasn't just the body's involuntary movements. It was the way society watched, interpreted, and remembered those motions. Over time, these grim performances entered popular culture. Ballads described the last dance of highwaymen. Broadsheets sold at executions depicted criminals in the noose, their legs flailing as a warning to others. Even in art, the image of the twisting hanged man carried powerful meaning, sometimes as justice served, other times as a reminder of human cruelty. It's easy to dismiss the people of the Renaissance as more barbaric than us, but here's the uncomfortable truth. Public fascination with death has never gone away. We no longer gather in town squares to watch a hanging, but we still consume violent spectacles through news, film, and even social media. The scaffold dance may belong to history, but its echoes are everywhere, in the way we are drawn, almost against our will, to the sight of human suffering. Eventually, reformers began pushing for more humane executions, leading to methods like the guillotine in France or the long drop hanging in England. These were meant to end the gruesome dances, offering swifter deaths. Yet even then, failures happened, and crowds remembered every stumble of the rope, every botched drop, every condemned body that refused to die quietly. So when we speak of the scaffold dance, we are not only talking about a physical struggle in the noose, we are talking about a cultural ritual that exposed the uneasy line between justice and cruelty, punishment and performance. It was the moment when society revealed its darkest fascination, the desire to watch another human being suffer and to call it justice. And maybe that's the lesson we should take with us today. Technology may change, laws may evolve, but the urge to turn punishment into spectacle remains deeply human. The scaffold dance has vanished from our streets, but its spirit lingers in ways we may not want to admit. So, what do you think? Was the scaffold dance simply a tragic byproduct of crude execution methods, or was it something deeper, a mirror held up to human nature itself? If you found this journey through history thought-provoking, don't forget to support our channel. Give this video a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe so you won't miss our next dive into the hidden corners of the past. Together, let's keep history alive, one story at a time.